Welcome back to the Travsessed podcast. We're your hosts, Kim and Aaron. This is another Traveler Quick Tip Tuesday. We are healthcare travelers and the creators of Travsessed and excited to get back on a Tuesday and release another Traveler Quick Tip.
Flight crew, please prepare for departure.
All right, guys.
It's been
Whoa! Feels good to be back on the mic.
It's been a hot minute since we've done a Traveler Quick Tip.
I know.
Why is that?
Because we've been busy and bowly. we this Thursday's episode, we talk more about Bali and just kind of like our struggle to keep up with this podcast, which is something we love so much to do, is just like get on the mic and talk to you guys and like share tips, share our life. Like I feel like it's my favorite part of what we do because we literally
Content-wise, yeah?
Yeah, right. Content-wise, because it's I think it's when we're our most authentic and real, and we're just sitting on a couch across from each other, just talking. And I don't know, I think it's
Chit in the chat.
the realest us, you know? And I love doing it, but it's been hard to kind of keep up while we're go on these trips that we're hosting. So
Because it takes plan.
yeah, it does. Even though we like hardly plan these, we kind of just like turn on the mic and go. But it's still, you got to think about it. There is thought in it, obviously, and then you have to like edit it and get it up. So it is like a time thing. But anyways, we're back.
We're back from leading 2 Travsessed Bali trips. If you don't know what that is, we lead international adventure trips for active adventures, where we go, the 2024 repertoire is going to be Patagonia, which we still have a spot available.
So email us if you're interested in
learning more. Email us at hello@imtravsessed.com. We're leaving for that at the end of March. And then we have Peru, Oaxaca, Mexico, Greece, Everest Base Camp.
Maybe Bali
again because so many people want to go. And then starting 2025, we have New Zealand. And we are also trying, if we have time, to plan it in the year. And we're back in the United States, our first Travsessed domestic trip to wine country. We feel like that's a good place to kick it off and see how Travsessed Adventures does in the United States.
Which I feel like we have to do. Like, I want to do it so bad.
Don't you think we should start it in like Colorado on like a hike or something?
No, because we know California wine country so well, like the back of our hands. Like I lived there for however many months and we explored, and I just feel like we know it so well, and it's one of our favorite places that it would be such a fun weekend. And so it's just like this time delay thing because we won't get back until November. So anyways.
Totally. But you saying that you lived there for, almost a full year kind of leads into this Traveler Quick Tip Tuesday of 5 reasons that you should start traveling as a healthcare professional in 2024.
I love the segue. Mm-hmm. This is fun. Okay. So this is really for, if you're a dreamer that you haven't really started traveling yet, but you're considering it and you're back and forth and you don't know when you're going to go or if you should do it, this is for you. This one is for you. So this is 5 reasons why you should start traveling. We say this all the time. We've been traveling 11 years, and making that decision was the best decision that we've ever made. And like the decision to leave our full-time jobs and start traveling. And even if you don't travel for 11 years, even just traveling for a small period of time, a year, 2 years, I think it just gives you so much experience and so many possibilities. And I just feel like, every person who works in healthcare, I know not everybody can, but like the people who can make that happen should take advantage of that and at least do it one time.
Yeah.
Or for a period of time.
No, I mean, I almost feel like it's the closest thing to a gap year that you can have.
Yeah, except you're working.
But it feels a lot more free.
Yeah.
Right?
Than being full-time.
That's number 1.
No, it's not. Okay, so number 1, this is obvious. We talk about it all the time, but earning more money. Like you are going to earn more money. And it's funny because I was talking to a travel stenographer, a friend the other day, and he was saying that the rates are a bit lower now and this and that for ultrasound. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, what are the rates? Because I'm not in a contract right now. Like, I'm not currently looking for an ultrasound contract, so I don't have like my finger on like the pulse of what the bill rates are right now. And he was like, oh, like 2,800. There were some for 3,000. I'm like, that is so great. That is, to me, I'm like, that's great pay. But I think a lot of us,
I mean, coming from the fact that we've been traveling so long, we've seen so many ebbs and flows. And like, we used to shoot for 21, 22, and that was considered a high, bill rate prior to COVID. And now COVID shot it up so much that everybody thinks that that's what it should be, when now 28 and 3,000 is actually like a really good pay package.
That's actually high.
It's extremely high.
Yeah, I would say average is, between 2,000, 3,000. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, you're looking at now post-COVID, 23, 25.
Yeah.
And that's bring home per week.
Yeah, that's take home. So that's like money in your pocket. Like,
well, I mean, for instance, Kim and I went back to Florida and worked PRN, and PRN is usually a higher rate. Now, again, if you live in Florida and you work in Florida full time, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Florida is notoriously a lower paying state. And I was making $30 an hour with 18 years of IR experience.
Which is bullshit.
It really is. And so I did the math, and basically a 40-hour week, I was bringing home close to $1,000 working a 40-hour week. Currently, in West Virginia, as a traveler, doing the same job, working less hours, I am bringing home every week, and that was 1 week. So it's like $1,800, maybe $1,600 a paycheck at $30 an hour, roughly. And that's 2 weeks. I'm bringing home $2,500 a week.
Yeah.
So that's $5,000 as opposed to $1,600.
Right.
Right. So you do the math, and that's one person.
Yeah. One person working.
And that's current. That's like a current situation.
Yeah. So I think in general,
I do interventional radiology, by the way, too, not ultrasound.
Yeah. The market's always ebbing and flowing. Some contracts are going to be higher, some are lower. It's always different. But I think as a general rule of thumb, as a traveler, you're going to make more money.
Totally.
Okay. Number 2. Work less, travel more for fun.
Whoop.
And
my favorite part.
This is huge because when you're making more money, you can work less. Like, we typically will only work like 6 months out of the year, and like we're off the rest of the year. And we never would have been able to do that working full time. Like, that wasn't even a possibility.
Well, not to mention, not just because of the finances, but also because you only get 2 weeks PTO if you're lucky.
Right.
Because usually I went home early on a Friday, and I felt sick one day, and, the whole PTO sick leave, like, I never had that when I was working full time. So that was the same PTO bank. And so, it's get sent home because we're slow one day. It's just like you have a friend's birthday that you want to take a long weekend. Next thing you know, you have 5 days of PTO left, and that's your vacation time.
Yeah.
And people got so strict with like, you don't have the PTO, you don't get the time off. And it's like, that's crazy, even if I'm electing not to get paid. And that is the sole reason why I will never go full time in a hospital again, is just because of that. The money aside, I can make that work. It's the PTO.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And you and I, when we first got together, because we worked, I guess, 5 years in our full-time jobs in the beginning of our relationship, right? In the beginning of us being together and getting married. So 5 years. And we never traveled internationally until we started traveling.
Yeah.
So my first contract, Aaron took a contract, then I took a contract. And during that contract, we saved and we went to Europe and did like this European cruise. Would not recommend. But that was a big deal for us at the time.
Carnival.
I know. Like that, we realized we weren't cruise people, but like that was a big deal for us at the time, you know, and we were new to traveling. We'd never been internationally except to a trip to Dominican Republic. And so that was like a big deal. And so because we were traveling or healthcare traveling, making more money, I ended my contract. We had this gap of time before Aaron was starting his. We went to Europe and like had our first international trip, which was amazing, which has then spun us into this whole world of international travel. And then that became our routine. Our yearly routine is like we would take time off and we would travel the world. And we were only able to do that because of the healthcare.
And I remember how weird that felt, that I was interviewing for a position and saying like, I was like not working in Wisconsin. And I remember saying, it was like March when I interviewed, and I was like, I can't start until like June. And like, but I was available.
Yeah.
You know, and like that felt weird, and I was going to be, they're not going to take me. And like, I got accepted to the position, and I was like, wow, like that's freedom, man. That feels really cool to be able to, like, if you have the money, you have your bills paid, you can take as much time off as you want to go travel the world, and it doesn't hurt your like work. Like, it's incredible.
Right. Like it doesn't look bad. Like you're
well,
not.
now, I mean, obviously you can't be off like multiple years, but yeah.
Right. In this context, like,
Correct.
yes, you're taking, you know, a month off and like
Right.
knowing you're going and having this trip and then you are coming back and getting back to work. Like
Totally.
there's nothing like it.
Yeah,
So
it's great.
Number 2. Number 3. You can reach your financial goals faster.
Totally.
And again, this is all kind of piggybacking off the fact that we make more money, but you know, we've been able to, over the course of our 11 years of traveling, we've paid off all of our credit card debt multiple times.
Yeah.
And other financial goals, we've saved up to travel the world for a year. We've saved big chunks of money.
We've built businesses and paid out of our own like earnings.
But yeah, we've done so many big financial things that it would have taken us a lifetime of working full time to achieve. Mm-hmm. So it's like whether you want to pay off your student loans or save up for a long trip or pay off credit card debt or save up for a house or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
like you really can, especially if you put your head down and you're just doing contract after contract or extending and you're just staying in work mode, you can really get to those goals so much faster. Which is
would
such
Brooke
a perk.
pay off?
So one of our friends, she's also a travel stenographer. She paid, I think it was like $118,000. And that was just her working by herself as a solo traveling stenographer.
And she did it in what? It was like,
I think it was like a year.
19 months or
something like that. A little
That's
over
crazy.
a year. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it was over a year. I can't remember exactly, but I mean, that is so inspiring of just like, she put her head down and she just went for it. And then it's like, oh my God, like to pay that kind of money off working full time would take you your whole life, right? Mm-hmm. So number 3, reach financial goals faster. It's a no-brainer for me. 4, more flexibility and freedom. I mean, that goes with kind of just what we're talking about.
Yeah. But also, I think the more flexibility and freedom also can come down to the fact that like you're locked in a contract for 3 months. You never know what you're getting into, and it's not your everyday job, right? So like, at the end of 3 months, you can pack up and go somewhere else. No strings attached, no hard feelings, no bridges burned. Like, and that's really cool because you can get through anything in 3 months and 13 weeks. And like, to be able to be in the driver's seat to choose whether you want to stay another 3 months and explore the area you're in because you like what you're doing, or you can just pack it up and go. Like, that's freedom, not to mention, the other thing of like, yeah, I might come back, but I'm going to take a month off and then I want to re-sign and I'll come back in April, right? Like, I mean, it's crazy.
Also, being in the place too that even if you have like a shitty contract or something, like, it's only 3 months and then you can leave. Like, you're not stuck in anything.
Yeah, never come back.
Yeah. And you can also look at your year too and know, like, I want to go on Travsessed Greece. I want to go on Travsessed, Everest Base Camp, right? Like, you could look at your year and be like, I know I want to take this time off so I can go on those trips. So I'm going to plan my contracts, before then, leading up, making sure I am off before. And then when I come back, it's like you can plan your year when you want to work and when you want to be off. I mean, it's just, I just don't understand why if you have the opportunity to travel, why people wouldn't. And obviously I know why, because there's nerves and there's fears and there's the unknown, but it's like there's just so much upside to it.
Well, and those are muscles you flex, and then you realize, like, the majority of the things we hear, because we talk to a lot of dreamers turned travelers, and like, I just can't believe I waited this long. Because now that I'm on the other side of it, it's not as scary. I figured it out. There's people out there like Kim and I that are here to guide and help and be as much of assistance as we can to make that journey even easier, because we've been doing it for so long, and that's our passion, is helping travelers break through that mold and like break through that what do you call it, obstacle, and kind of start living this life, because this is, like you said at the beginning, the best choice we've ever made, the best decision we've ever made.
Well, and I think it can feel overwhelming too, right? So that's why we created Traveler School, our course for travelers. That's why we teach about traveling to, give insight into this world and to guide people, to allow them, if it's something that they want to do, that they feel like they're getting what they need, to feel the confidence and support to like take that leap, right? Like, I think that's so powerful when you have that support and you have people to ask questions to, and you have a course you're learning from. And so I think that's like really cool. Side note, we're going to be Traveler School is a course we created like 5 years ago. It's an amazing resource. Like, it's timeless. Like, it's just an incredible, valuable
resource
container for travelers. But we're going to be taking that, we're putting it on an app, and then creating a so it'll be like in a monthly membership, where you'll have the course, there'll be monthly workshops, there's going to be community meetups, there's going to be discounts to trips, like it's going to be this whole thing.
Community message boards of like being able to talk on different subjects, and then the workshops are going to be about maximizing your life as a traveler, whether that be international travel or points, or how Kim and I have been able to financially go and take 6 months off and things like that. It'll be really cool workshops from other travelers, not just us.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Okay, number 5, last but not least, you get to live in cool places in the US, like,
and meet cool people,
and just being able to live all over this country. Like, there's so many beautiful places. There's so many cool places. And you get to go test places out too and see, what do you like? What do you don't? Is this a place you'd want to live? Maybe you take an assignment and realize, oh my gosh, I love this job. I love this area. I'm staying. And I think too, it's when you're working full time, it's very hard to be like, let's pick up our entire life and move to Idaho, and we're just going to find jobs and get a house. And that is way more intimidating than why most people don't do that, right? Unless they know for sure they're moving for work. But we get to just go take a contract there and be like, do we really like it here? Is this cool? How does it feel? And you just get to really experience all these different places that majority of us wouldn't really get to see if we were not taking a contract and working there.
No, totally. And I think the cool thing is a lot of contracts that we've taken are, we've had the big cities of Seattle, San Francisco, Atlanta, San Diego, like cool spots like that. But there's also been so many places in between that you would never go on vacation. So you would never get to experience them. And they're little gems of like, wow, like I would have never come here. And like the culture here, the people here, like Bellingham, Washington, like a place that stands out to me. We have like, I'm in Charleston, West Virginia right now. Wouldn't live here. Not really my scene, but it's like I've got to come and live here and experience it. And it's a place that Kim and I realized, like, we had never even driven through West Virginia, and now we get to live here for 3 months. Janesville, Wisconsin. It's like those little places like that are like, wow, like there's some really cool stuff there. Wouldn't want to live here, but really glad I got to experience it. I'm better for experiencing it.
And I think because we're not on vacation, we are, like, you go on vacation somewhere for a couple of days or a week or something. We're living somewhere for 3 months. So even when we were living in Seattle, well, we were there for 6 months, and we were in, the Bay Area, we were in whatever, like even in these like really cool places, Colorado, like Boston, like you're not just on vacation, you're living there for 3 months. So you really get familiar with where to go, what to do, where to eat, where to hike, you really get to experience it fully and completely and get to do so much that you wouldn't do if you were on vacation. So I feel like you get to the heart and soul of everywhere you get to live because we're there for so long. And I just think it's such a cool experience. Even if you want to move back to your hometown, or even if you know where you want to live, just to be able to experience different parts of the U.S.
and have somebody else basically pay for it.
Yeah, it's just so freaking cool. So cool. So those are the 5 tips. This was definitely not in 15 minutes or less.
No.
But I think it was really cool. And I think, again, if you're on the fence, traveling is a game changer for your life, and give it a try. We always say you never know until you go. And worst case scenario, you come back home,
I met a rep today that was an IR traveler, started out at X-ray, and only did X-ray, and then he basically was in a contract and they needed IR help. So he's like, if you're willing to teach me, I'll learn it. And so he did, and then he became an IR traveler instead of X-ray, and he did it from 2005 to 2010. Okay. Which is crazy.
Why?
I'm just saying, like, when we left in 2012, we were just searching for people in radiology that were travelers. Oh, you mean
because we didn't even know it was...
I thought it was a whole scam. Like, I had no idea in 2012 because we didn't have the socials and all the people out there doing it, and, kind of how we just, like, put our whole lives on social so people can see that, like, we're living this life basically and because of traveling, healthcare traveling. It allowed us to live this life we do now. And if we could have seen that in 2012, I would have hit the door a lot sooner. Oh, but it was 100%. Like nuts that he was traveling around the country as an IR tech in 2005 and 2010. That's just crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
It's funny. He lives in a camper now with his wife.
Of course he does.
Because I was like, dude, so you can't ever take the traveler out of you. And he's like, nope. He's like,
but he works full time as a rep, but lives in a camper here?
Around here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and his wife's still an X-ray traveler.
Oh, she travels?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
She does more local stuff, but they have a house outside of Boston.
Oh.
And so they just wanted to get out of there. They couldn't really find a house. He started working for Philips, selling the IVUS machine or helping with that. And then was like, we don't want to buy a house, so let's just buy a big camper. And that way we can just up and go whenever we want.
Okay.
And I was like, so traveler of you.
So traveler. Yeah. I love that.
Yep. So anyway.
Okay, cool. Well, if you're listening to this and you have any questions or you felt excited or you want more, you can feel free to DM us at Kim and Aaron G. And stay tuned for that membership because it is going to be
badass.
Groundbreaking. It's going to be amazing. And I know it's going to serve like thousands of travelers.
Did you say there's discounts for our Travsessed trips?
Yeah. There's going to be so many cool things inside of the membership. So stay tuned for that. That will be your support ticket for all things travel. And we will see you Thursday.
All right.
Toodaloo, motherfucker.